Hey everyone, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new, welcome. I'm super happy you decided to join me. My name is Katie, and I am primarily a Sims 4 builder. Although I have been working on my own save file, so I have been dabbling in Create a Sim and storytelling. Create a Sim's not really my forte, but I do like making up stories for the townies. Anyway, today we are back with another Sims 4 speed build. This is another Willow Creek home that is going to be part of my save file. There will be a family living here. I won't talk about the family too much, but it's a mom, a dad, a teenage daughter, and then twin children. So the twins do share a room, and then the teenager has her own room, and then of course the parents have their own room as well. So in total it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. There is a crafting room, so if you did want the twins to have separate rooms, you could remove the crafting room and give them their own rooms, but I made them share. It just kind of worked out that way because I wanted to have a little crafting space. But yeah, I love the exterior of this house. It came together pretty easily for me, but the interior, that was a struggle. I did chop out some stuff, like the floor plan, and because it was a nightmare. I struggled so hard with the floor plan. As much as I love the outside, I nearly bulldozed it because I could not come up with a floor plan. I was struggling because I imagine in this part of Willow Creek, the houses are bigger, but I kind of think that they're still a little bit older. So I don't want anything super duper open for this house, but I also want it to still feel somewhat contemporary. This is kind of like I don't even know what the style of this is. I wanted it to feel a little bit traditional, but not granny traditional, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't make sense, but that's kind of what I was going for. And yeah, that's not my go-to build style. My go-to build style is definitely way more contemporary and way more modern. So yeah, it was hard. Another thing I chopped out is I changed the brick exterior. Probably like 20 times. I could not figure out what I wanted to do. So there will be kind of an awkward cut where the house just looks different, the brick at least. And yeah, it's because I couldn't decide what I wanted, and I took so long. I didn't want this video to be 400 hours long of me changing swatches. So yeah, that's what we wound up with, is this sort of lighter brick. I believe it's from, I think it might actually be from Vampires. And then I used some of the like scalloped siding that comes with, I think it's Cats and Dogs. It could possibly be Seasons. Another thing that I kind of edited out, just because, again, it's very repetitive, is the landscaping. Obviously, I show a bit of it just so you can kind of see what plants I used and sort of how I start. But I do kind of chop some of it out because, I mean, when videos get close to like 25, 30 minutes, I kind of have to make decisions because that's a really long video for most people to sit through. But yeah, I like the landscaping on this. I used some debug plants from Cottage Living, which are amazing. If you don't regularly use the debug menu, I would highly recommend it for landscaping. There are a lot of really great plants that don't show up in your regular menu, especially from Cottage Living. It's something I've always wondered why the Sims team didn't put those in the regular menu, because they're such beautiful plants. There's like a rose bush and then this tall kind of pink plant. I I'll admit I don't know all that much about plants, so I don't know what kind of plant it is, but it's a very pretty pink flower. So yeah, almost everything in this interior was a struggle for me. I think I had to like basically save and exit and walk away from this build, probably more than any build I've done in a really, really long time. I probably stopped and started just because I ran out of inspiration, or I just couldn't figure out what the heck looked good. I think 6 or 7 times, which usually a small build I can finish in 1 to 2 sittings. A bigger build like this, I usually finish within maybe 3 to 4 sittings. This one, yeah, again, probably like 6 to 7 because I was struggling and I had no idea what to do with this build. I cluttered these shelves from Island Living. I barely ever use these shelves because the wood grain and the swatches aren't my favorite, but it kind of worked out really well in this build. And yeah, I thought they were really pretty and I really enjoyed cluttering them up. I do like a lot of clutter. So I will say like just kind of a disclaimer about my save file, and I'll obviously do an overview and go into like the pros and cons of my personal save file. And I think one of the cons is, unfortunately, it might be a little laggy if you have a older, or maybe not like a not as upgraded computer, just because I do use a fair amount of clutter, and obviously the more items that your game has to load, the more taxing it is on your computer. I'm trying to strike a balance between like my build aesthetic, which is lots of clutter, and taking into consideration that not everybody has like a brand spanking new PC that can handle it. So, you know, I do what I can, and obviously at the end of the day, I have to remember and realize I'm not going to please everybody, and not everybody's going to be able to utilize what I'm putting out there. But I hope those that can will, and I hope that, you guys will enjoy this when I have it out. I almost have Willow Creek completely done. I just have a couple community lots. There will only probably be maybe 2 or 3 more speed builds for Willow Creek. A lot of the big houses, just because I want to get this done and out, and I still have so much I have to do. I'm not doing speed builds for the bigger lots. I'm probably only going to maybe do the park lot, I think, because I have a really cool idea of what I want to try. I'm going to try to make it base game, but no promises. But yeah, I definitely have a good idea of how I want to transform the park lot. I hope it comes together as cool in reality as it feels in my mind. That's always a struggle, right? Like you have these really, really cool ideas, and then you try to go into the game and execute them, and you're like, oh my God, no, like it's just not coming together. It's always disappointing, but I mean, hey, that's just life, right? Anyway, this living room, I used a lot of Cottage Living in here. Those brick walls from Cottage Living, the couches are Cottage Living, fireplace is Cottage Living, the rug is Cottage Living. And then in the kitchen, we kept kind of like a brown theme. That's another thing that was kind of hard for me, is brown is not my favorite color. I'm more of like a white and cool toned person over brown. I like warm tones, like I like oranges and I like reds, but brown is just hard for my personal style. I did have someone ask me, not on YouTube, but on Instagram, if I have any background in interior design or architecture, and the answer is no. If you're a professional, you might be like, yeah, that's obvious, but no, I don't have any formal training. I just kind of build what I think looks good. So yeah, if something is like not super realistic, first of all, this is a video game, it's The Sims. And second of all, I don't have any formal training in this. I just build what I think looks okay. Also, some of you might be wondering about that backsplash in the kitchen. That is gallery art. And yeah, it looks really nice. It's a bit time consuming and labor intensive because you have to place every single one individually and line them up, and it takes a while, but I thought it looked really, really good. As you saw earlier, I tried a couple different backgrounds, a couple different tiles that like come in the wallpaper swatches. None of them were quite fitting with the look that I wanted to go with, because again, I kind of wanted this to feel traditional, but not like old or like stuffy. So yeah, I don't know. I did use some more contemporary counters, like with those are from the Dream Home Decorator, which I think I've used in like my last 5 videos, and you're gonna see again soon because I just did 2 little room builds, and both of them I used for the Dream Home Decorator counters. I will probably only share one of those as a little miniature speed build here. I'm probably gonna share it probably next week, the next couple of days, so keep an eye out for that. If you want to see the other little room builds, I do a fair amount of those. Again, I don't always turn them into speed builds or stop motion. So you can follow me on Instagram. My username is Katie Nookie there as well. So yeah, I have more content on Instagram that I don't always share on YouTube. So yeah, I would love to have you join me on Instagram. I'm pretty active there. I'm also relatively active on Twitter. So I just usually post more photos and post a lot of work in progress pictures on Twitter. And then I, random tweets, of course, about mostly Sims related stuff. I don't tweet too much about my personal life. If you're like, oh, I don't care about your personal life. It's not much about that. I mostly tweet about The Sims, obviously, because that's what I like and that's what I'm into. Again, my username there is also Katie Nookie. So if you have any interest in following me, of course, I would be very happy. Yeah, I did a little trick with the fireplaces. Basically, I used the tool mod to kind of rotate and add it up top. I kind of want like a full wall feature piece. Only thing that's unfortunate about that is the swatches. It is the exact same swatch. I didn't change it. Just the way the lighting works in this game, it sometimes looks weird. I did the same trick in the living room. This is kind of like a formal sitting room area. And then you'll see me kind of mess around, but I did make kind of, they're supposed to be built-ins. I think with the limitations of not using CC in this game, I think they look okay. Yeah, everything's functional. The fireplace still works. It doesn't mess it with anything. I did kind of edit some of my messing around out because it's just a lot of me messing around with tool mod and rotating things. But yeah, I always I try not to do too much custom furniture because I know sometimes it can look kind of glitchy with things like overlapping and it doesn't always work. But again, everything that you see here has been play tested. Everything is functional. This is up on my gallery. This will be part of the save file. And of course, for the save file, I want everything to work. I don't want people to not be able to use my builds. That would be very counterintuitive to the whole idea. So yeah, I don't do too much custom furniture. There are other creators out there, like Sadie Sim comes to mind. Milo Farmer comes to mind. Those creators I know do a lot of really, really cool stuff with the tool mod. So check them out if you do like seeing people build custom furniture. I use tool mod. 90% of what I use tool mod for is to like resize rugs and resize plants and like move objects up and down so they're not floating. I do think tool mod, if you can and are able to use custom content and mods, I do think tool mod is 1010% worth it as a builder. If you have any serious interest in building, I would highly, highly recommend downloading and learning how to use the tool mod. It does seem a little bit intimidating. It is a little bit overwhelming at first, but practice, and you will get the hang of it. It's not that hard once you kind of learn the basics, the controls. You'll realize, oh, this is way easier than I thought. But yeah, it's a really, really great resource for builders. I mean, there's just so much you can add to your game by using Tool. I mean, even just things like resizing, rotating, moving things up and down. It's so helpful. If I could honestly only ever have one mod in my game, I would use Tool Mod. It's by Twisted Mexi. It's free. I think you can download it on his Patreon. But yeah, it's an awesome resource. Anyway, I digress. Here we have a little office. The mom that lives here is a politician, so I kind of thought maybe this could be like her little office area. And then speaking of custom furniture, I tried to make my own little pencil holder. We only have a couple pencil holders in game. The one's like a little bit childish. It has like a teddy bear eraser, which it's cute, but I didn't think it really worked for like, I imagine her, maybe a little more formal and serious. And then the other one I just use all the time, and it's kind of modern. So I just made my own. It's nothing fancy. It's all base game. I'm pretty sure it's just two debug pens. And then again, I use the Tool Mod to resize and rotate the lip balm lid to kind of make it look like a pencil holder. But yeah, the office, obviously pretty simple. There's a little sitting area. I mean, I don't think most people would ever have like she maybe has like guests over. Like, I don't know. I don't know. There's a little sitting area because it looks cute. Another thing I like to do with the Tool Mod, if you've seen my other videos, you've seen me do this trick. Basically, I take a piece of wall decor, I rotate it, and then it kind of looks like a tray. Yeah, I use that trick a lot just because I think it's cute. And we don't really have trays in this game. I mean, we have a couple that already have stuff in them, like the ones from Tiny Living, but we don't have any plain ones. So I do just sometimes make my own because, hey, I mean, I like trays in the living room. It's a nice way to clutter things up. Outside, I really love this little backyard that I built. I put a little pool, a couple little place seatings. I used the debug umbrella from My Wedding Stories. And then I kind of have this wall here, and you'll see here in a second, I made a little waterfall. So basically I take the waterfall that comes, I think it comes with City Living, and I line it up. And then again, using the Tool Mod, if you size it down, the background will stay, like the water part will stay, but the frame itself disappears. So it looks like a little like waterfall going into the pool. I don't know. Again, if you've seen any of my other videos, I've done that trick before. It's something I've been doing for a while now. I mean, I've never seen anybody else do it. I'm not saying like I came up with the original idea. I'm sure there's plenty of other people that have had that idea. But I don't know. It looks cute. Added a little seating area, a garage. Oh my gosh, not a garage. It's late. I'm tired. I almost didn't record this voiceover tonight, but I want to get the video out tomorrow. A grill. Yeah, I used the cabinet there from Snowy Escape. Has the open shelving, cluttered that up with some cute stuff. And I think the only thing that I did cut out in the backyard is mostly just landscaping again. I used the exact same plants as I did it in the front. If you've heard me talk about landscaping, you know that I kind of like have a formula of I pick a handful of plants and I kind of use those for the whole build. I'm not somebody that can like mix and match too much. I get really overwhelmed, and I think it just doesn't look good when I do that. So yeah, there's another little sitting area here. I did use that little basket full of towels and stuff from, I think it's from Seasons. And then the only other thing I added to the backyard that I didn't show is there's a couple little garden planters, and then there's a swing set for the kids to have. I really, really wanted to use one of the beds that have the drapes, but the built-in, like the ones we have in game, just weren't exactly working out. So I kind of built my own here. This is functional. I did play test it. Sims can get in, no problem. It's, again, mostly made with debug items. The posts, all the wooden things are just base game from the debug menu. And then the sheer curtains, I think they're from Parenthood. But yeah, this is the parents' bedroom. As you can see, I used a lot of red in this build. I kind of like went with that as a theme for the build, kind of like brown and red was what I was going for. Yeah, I give them a little, obviously have a little dressing area. I get a little shelf with some clutter on it. I added in a seating area here in a second. You'll see that. One thing I did also have to cut out of this speed build are the bathrooms. Again, if you've watched any of my other speed builds, I pretty much complain about bathrooms every time because I hate building bathrooms. They're just not my cup of tea. I'm not very good at them. Yeah, I don't know. One of these days I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna do a bathroom series and I'm just gonna build a crap ton of bathrooms until I'm like, oh, maybe bathrooms aren't so bad. Maybe. I don't know if I'll ever think that, but yeah, I hate doing bathrooms. And well, that's all I have to say about that is I hate doing them and I chopped them out of this build because they're very uninspiring and I had other things I wanted to show you instead. So I'm sorry if you like bathrooms. No judgment. It's not my thing. Let's see. Yeah, I think I will just go ahead and wrap up the voiceover here. Actually, that's not true. There is one thing I wanted to let you know, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, okay. It hasn't come up in the video yet, but I do want to talk about, I did make some custom desks in the kids' room. You'll see them obviously here in just like a minute. This is the twins' room. There is a boy twin, and a girl twin. Again, there is a little crafting room, which I also actually cut out of this video. Yeah, again, because of how hard this video was, I had an insane amount of footage to edit because I was just going back and forth and struggling so much. I do like the kids' room though. I did a lot of little dolls and toys and stuff for the kids. Kind of imagine maybe they like to collect those. I think they're called My Sims dolls. But yeah, anyway, there's a boy and a girl twin. They share this room and it's just, I think it comes together and it's really, really cute. I tried to add some, toys that have their own interests. Of course, there are some just general kid toys, like a toy box and some stuffed animals. And then I did build a custom desk shelving area, and that's what I wanted to talk about. It might look like it doesn't function, but it works. It functions completely. I play tested it. The only issue I want to mention, because again, I know this probably potentially might bother some people, is there is a little bit of clipping when the Sims sit down. Their knees kind of clip into the cabinet because I basically used cabinets and sized down a desk. It's a pretty common builder hack if you want to make custom desks. So yeah, here it is. I used the Dream Home Decorator shelves. I did some fun tool mod stuff. Again, if you're a builder, go download the tool mod. It's awesome. It's amazing. I will help you if you have any questions about it. Just feel free to DM me. I'm really happy to help. I'm not a super expert, but I've been using it for a while, so I feel very comfortable with it, and I can probably answer your questions if you have any about it. But yeah, these are the cabinets I'm talking about. I just used some wall cabinets. I sized down the desk. Yeah, so your Sims legs will clip in a little bit to those cabinets. It's just how it is. If you really, really hate that, of course, feel free to delete the cabinets and just put a regular desk in there again. It doesn't bother me because it's so minimal, and it's just personally not something I notice when I'm doing gameplay. But I know everyone has different quirks, and that if that's yours, there's your fair warning. It does cause some clipping. And then the way you can get rid of the desks is I usually size them down really, really small. If you don't have the tool mod, you can just, use the bracket keys to size them down. And then obviously you can still see it because you can't size them down to be disappear like you can with the tool mod. So you have to cover it up. Trash can or some sort of ottoman or some sort of clutter item is pretty common way to cover those up. And then I think the only other room we have left is the teenager's room. Yeah, I kind of imagine she's maybe a little bit moody. But yeah, I like her room a lot too. She's into music, so I gave her like a guitar, and I gave her a microphone stand. I know it's like more used for comedy, but I don't know. I'm kind of pretending it's like a something she can, maybe she likes to play a guitar and sing. One thing I would love to see, I wish we would have gotten with Get Famous, is like the ability to make bands. I'm not going to give away too much because it's not going to be in version 1.0, but I do have well, I guess technically he will be in version 1.0, but he's not going to be in one of the worlds, so he's not going to be fully fleshed out, the character. But I do have a character that's part of a band. It's not a real band because you can't make real bands in The Sims. I mean, I'm sure there's a mod out there, but I'm not going to use any mods really for the save file. But yeah, I've always wished with Get Famous that, we would have had bands or just more music aspects to the game. I think if they ever gave a pack refresh, adding that in would be awesome, would be chef's kiss. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this voiceover. I will leave a link in the description box to all of my socials. Again, I do post more content that you might not see on YouTube over on Instagram, and on Twitter as well. Same username, Katie Nookie. I'm also going to leave some information about a podcast that I'm a co-host with my friend Jessie called the She and Sim podcast. We do Sim interviews. We talk about pack rankings. We discuss pack news, Sim news, drama. We cover a whole bunch of Sim stuff there. So if you like podcasts, you like The Sims, feel free to check it out. I think it's pretty good, obviously, but yeah, it's been really enjoyable to do that. So I'll leave a link to there, and obviously we would love to have you guys as listeners. Anyway, thank you so very much for being here with me, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the video. Take care and dag. See you guys next time. Bye.